Hi, and I'm starting with sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm late. I really don't like this. But um, I had a coaching session, and yeah, was not possible to get out of there on time. And this is sometimes what happens, right? You are in a session, you have a time frame, and then new things pop up, and was not possible to leave because it was not safe to leave the persons without you know closing up what was happening. But today the topic is, why do we hate once in a while this coaching thing? Sometimes because, yeah, I think different the session that I just had is a great example. I think sometimes people are counting that the coaching is about this, and suddenly we start exploring, we start going to the main topics, and we discover that the issue is so sometimes so much deeper, or even so much different than we ever thought. And that's exactly what happened with this session. So was the first session, and people say, "Oh, the session will be about this, and this is the problem, and this is what is going on," and suddenly we start, elaborating the session, and becomes a very different thing. And this is one of the things that people sometimes they don't consider about coaching. That the problem maybe is not the problem, the real problem. And the other thing is that sometimes they are so looking for the control of the session, or the control of what we are going to talk or do, that they are not happy that suddenly is about another thing. But guess what? That is exactly why you use coaching. We use coaching because we want to dive in, and we want to really get a different result from the one that we have now, right? But that's one of the things that makes people sometimes not wanting to go for coaching, and they prefer something that I consider a little bit more, how do you say, controlled, is that you can control easier, is, for instance, therapy, because you bring in the topics, and is in therapy, sometimes depends, of course, on the type of therapy that you are doing, but sometimes is not required change. Okay, is and that makes people feel more like, oh, okay, you know what, I go until the moment that I want to. And in coaching is also true, you go until when you want to, but you will probably be a little bit more provoked. So that makes, of course, more difficult to escape. But I think I need also to start why I decided to bring this topic. Why a coach decides to bring a topic for the podcast, that is why we hate coaching once in a while. Now and then was the title. Because I was feeling it this week. I was feeling that this week. I was like, no, don't coach me. um, I was having, I was going through, also, I'm a human being, so I go through also changes and processes. And I was going through a creative process. Um, and suddenly I got someone. coaching me. Well, it's okay. Sometimes I request that. Sometimes I also go to my coach and say, "Hey, I need a session." But I really felt like, no, I don't want this right now. I'm in my process. I'm in my creative process. Let me be. So I myself felt that no, it's not a moment that I want to be coached. It's a moment that I want to talk, that I want to share, that I want maybe to brainstorm, but don't coach me. That's not what I want. So that's when I decided, let me bring this along. Also, because I think sometimes when uh, we know something, right? We tend to go around and always do the same, and we always do that. And we need to realize that some moments are not to use even coaching tools. You know, sometimes it's not even, don't bring questions, don't ask, just be there. So of course, my friends sometimes say that to me, like, is that a question from you or for the coach? And I'm like, no, it's for me. I'm really curious. But why sometimes we hate coaching is because we don't want change. We don't want change. We just want a hear, someone to listen to us. Sometimes we just want to complain. You know what? Coaching is, you have two things. You have the tools of coaching, and then you have the skills for coaching. And you can continue, of course, if you have the skills, you have the skills. So, for instance, if you have the skill of great rapport and building great rapport with people, yeah, continue doing that is useful. So one thing is that you develop some type of skills to become a good coach. And I would say continue using that. But don't always use the tools that are the tool that coaching is. Because some moments are not for coaching. Just because people don't want change. And when we, for instance, if someone is coming and says, "Oh, I'm not feeling good today," why you need to change that? Who told you that the person, just because she's sharing with you that she's not feeling okay, she wants to feel in a different way? It's not a cause effect, you know. Just because, for instance, I say to you, "Oh, I'm not feeling well today," or "I'm not feeling good today," doesn't mean that it's not implicit that I'm asking you to do something about it. And it's not so also is not implicit that I want to change something about it. Because guess what? Maybe I just want to have that feeling right now. I want to feel, not good. I'm going to give you an example. The other day, my middle daughter, did something that was not, in my point of view, was not nice. And I was sitting down with her, and I said, I need to tell you this. I need to tell you that you did this and this and this, and for me, was not nice. And then she was saying to me, "Yeah, but I'm feeling bad enough about it." And I said, "Okay, stay there. Stay, stay feeling like that. What do you want me to do? Because you did that, and this is my perspective on it. So." And then she said, "Yeah, but why are you saying that to me if I'm feeling bad about it?" And I said, "No, you are not feeling bad about it because I'm saying it. You are feeling bad about it because probably you also realized that you did something that was not good." And I said to her, maybe sometimes it's good that we don't feel good about something, because that is the moment maybe that we are going to, think about it and realize that, whoa, this is not nice. So maybe the next time I will not do this again because I don't want to feel this way again. So sometimes feeling bad about something or a situation or a person or yourself It's not bad. Sometimes it's just good. It's good because means that you are taking ownership on that feeling, but also ownership on what that situation provoked on you, right? Is this makes any sense for you? For me, it makes all the sense in the world. Like some moments, I just don't want to feel good about it. I just want to stay in that. I don't want to bring any change. So that is the moment that I please don't come with coaching to me because I will react. I will say stop that. I, I, I sometimes I will not even reply to the question because it's like, why are you coaching me right now? You know, I never said that I want change. And I think this is the principle that we can continue using the skills that coaching made us maybe developed, but don't use the tools of coaching. So don't ask questions that are to explore what the problem is. Don't make people, oh, but imagine that you are feeling in a different way. I don't want that. I really don't want that. And one of the things that I think that makes people um, not sometimes choose to do coaching is because they had a lot of experience like this. They had a lot of experiences that they received coaching when they didn't ask for it. So, and then I was, I know, do you think that you are a coach right now? And then when people say, oh, maybe you could have some coaching, they go like, no, I don't want that. Because they are so done with that type of interaction. Because it's not done under their request. And I believe I have this, yeah, maybe perspective, opinion, I don't know, that if you don't request for coaching, you will always hate coaching in the sense of becoming a process, because coaching is a process that promotes change, right? So if you didn't request that change in any way, you will hate that because you don't want change, and change is uncomfortable, and change requires a lot of energy, and change requires a lot of awareness, and we need to do different stuff. And I always say change is work. So if I didn't request that, I don't want that type of work. I don't want it. So, and that is the moment that people have an opinion about coaching that is not even real. It's real for them, of course, but it's not the truth of coaching. Let me put it this way. It's not the truth of coaching, because coaching requests a permission to do the coaching. Coaching is an ethical coach will always ask for permission to coach, right? Formal permission, not informal, not because someone is just sharing with you that have a problem. That is not a formal permission to do coaching, okay? So that's the main thing is that um, you, I tell me if you have ever had an experience like this. I'm pretty sure everyone had an experience like this, that you are just sharing something and someone comes with this, oh, and what if? Oh, and what that means for you. And, oh, but why are you feeling like that? You know what? You could reframe that meaning. And like, hey, I don't want that. I really don't want that. And I think the people near me are the ones that are, of course, more sensitive to that. So my kids, they don't allow me. They really cut me off. My friends, sometimes they also go like, you know what? Are you my friend? right now? And they're like, yeah, I'm your friend. Um, and you can still use the skills. So, for instance, I will still probably be doing my rapport because I cannot, honestly, or breaking rapport as well. So I cannot go away from that because that's how I interact with people. Um, and I also appreciate that. But maybe you always will get my curiosity, you know, because I like that. I like to be curious. Um, and maybe people will still get, you know, my opinion because ah, who doesn't like to have an opinion about stuff, right? But I will not coach them. I will not promote or try to promote any type of change until they ask me for it. And I think this is something that in a for a formal coach, or even sometimes people that are using coaching as a practice and a process in their like leadership or management um, or teaching, I think it's important to realize that if you do it without permission, most probably people will hate it and they will react to that. Makes sense what I'm saying? Ask me your questions. Tell me moments that you had that this was true for you. You also hated, like when someone tried to coach you and was not your request for it. And I think one of the main things is that, and I sometimes receive this question. Okay, but if you see that the person could really, really benefit from some coaching at that point, then you ask permission, saying, hey, I know that you asked me to listen to you, but I, I could really support you at this moment. I could really use one little thing that maybe could help you out. Do you want that? And sometimes the person said, oh, okay. And sometimes the person, no, I don't want that. And you need to respect, right? But if in a moment you feel this person could really benefit from a coaching approach right now, ask for it. You are entitled to ask if the person wants that, right? It's not like, oh, now I'm going to pretend that I don't see it. No, I'm going to pretend that nothing that can be done. No, if you really believe that is something that you could do that could change the experience of that person at that moment, ask, hey, can I give you something that I really truly believe that could help you? And then allow the person to say yes or no, you know? Because again, a coach is almost like, I always sometimes say to my friends, I'm a specialized friend. So, of course, that if you are saying something to me, maybe I'm going to hear more, see more, and feel more than a common person. Yeah. But so I have like a more informed position. And that, of course, makes a little bit of also like, hey, if I can give this to you, why I will not, you know? So I sometimes even say to my friends, can I give you a present? Take it as a present, you know? And can I do something for you? And most of the times they say yes. And today, oh, maybe not today. Tomorrow, can we talk? No, yeah, of course. Tomorrow we talk again. Um, but is you don't want to create a situation that the person needs to defend themselves from what you are doing, right? So you don't want the situation that the person starts like, I'm not going to talk to her because she's always trying to solve stuff and she's always trying to, make me feel better, or she's always trying to give me a different perspective. Um, No, but that's maybe not the best way to go, right? Sometimes we need really to relax in our coaching tools and use only your coaching skills, like rapport, the the possibility of reading a little bit more from the nonverbal, the flexibility, the congruency that you can develop when you are coaching, the non-judgmental perspective. So you can use a lot of the skills and become the support just sometimes by doing that, just by you using the skills that the coaching brought to you. Sometimes that is help enough, because you know what, you know how many people can really have a friend or even a partner or even someone that can really make a good, can be in rapport with them. Some people are just going around always with, you know, in a almost like a fight, you know. I'm always in need of argument, and I always in need of justifying what I'm doing, and sometimes they just don't have anyone that says, you know, I get you. I think I get you. I think I feel what you're feeling. And this full presence that the coaching skills can give you is sometimes the biggest present that you can give to people. Is that almost a translation for what they are going through. And if you have some coaching tools, you can translate that in your words, you can put that out, you can, and if you have even the talent of expressing sometimes what other people are feeling that they sometimes they cannot do themselves, um, that's like, you know, sometimes a present enough, a big present, I will say. That will be a huge present already. Like being there, being present, being almost like being having the attitude of the coach without doing coaching. Oh, that is a good one. Be have the attitude of the coaching or the coach, but don't do coaching. Yeah, that I think is is what could really shape in a different way your relationships, is doing as a coach, having that attitude, but don't use the coaching tools. I think that's what I want to say today, is like how much we could improve our relationships if we all get a little bit of, okay, I'm going to build rapport with you. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to get in an argument with you. I'm just going to listen to you. And I'm going to do that without judging. I'm just going to receive you. And then, oh, okay, I'm going to, you know, take this in, and I'm going to share with you what this was for me, what this sharing was for me, how this made me feel, and what could I, you know, see, hear from you. And then I will share my impact from that, how that will make our relationships to be. I think they will be magical, to be honest. Now that I'm getting like, wow, there will be magic all over the place, right? Because suddenly we will not be in this defensive mode, will not be trying to change anyone. We were just, you know, doing whatever we are doing. And that I think is pretty much amazing. Um, do you have any questions? I'm curious if you have any questions or any experience with this? And what do you think will be your relationships if you start doing this? If you start using the attitude of a coach, but not coaching people all over, because I think that is the moment that they hate us. When we are trying to bring change that they didn't request, when we are trying to bring change that they don't want. I think that is the moment that people just hate us. Like, go away, don't come here anymore. Um, so I'm curious about your insights about this, and I will wait for your comments and your perspectives, and I'm going also to elaborate about this. I think I'm going to now that you know that we have a newsletter. So if you want to receive our newsletter, is where I investigate a little bit more the topics, and I get also I give a little bit of my perspective, and I go a little bit deeper on the subject. I think the next newsletter will be exploring a little bit more this topic in a different way. So if you want to receive the newsletter, please let us know as well. And yeah, I think this is what I wanted to say today, and I got for myself a different insight of this conversation. That sometimes is about, sometimes now I will say always is about using the attitude of a coach to improve our relationships, but don't do coaching all the time. Okay, only do coaching when people are requesting you for change, and explicit request, not a subtle request, not a request that is running in your own mind, but explicit request that people want change. I hope this is insightful, and I will, like I said in the newsletter, probably explore how to bring this coaching attitude to improve our relationships all around 360 to ourselves and to others. So see you on the newsletter is next week. If also we see each other on Friday next week, and bring this energy for the next week, because this week was, for most part of the time, people, I got a lot of requests on talking about tension, heaviness. So I think we need to bring this to the next week. Will be possible for us to amplify this coaching attitude? I think will. Uh, thank you, my dear, for your comment. Thank you so much. So I will explore that in the newsletter, and I will challenge you to bring that coach attitude to your relationships during the next week, and tell me how that went. I curious about it. What will happen to the relationships if we got more that attitude and less coaching, only coaching when people request you? Okay, take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. And again, I'm so sorry for the delay, but I think I did what I needed to do. Take care of yourself.